I wanted to take you guys out with me on the C300 using the 11-16 Tokina. This will kind of give you a broad idea on what this lens is gonna look like just out on the streets. Right now I'm at the gym, so I'm probably gonna take a few shots here at the gym, just me messing around with some weights. And then the rest is gonna be just straight off the street stuff with the C300 and 11-16. So right away off bat, I mean, you guys already know I'm vlogging with this thing. It's a weird setup. It's very, I guess, big for a vlogging setup. But for a production camera that was worth $16,000 back in the day, it's not bad. It's not bad, considering this entire video is shot with the onboard XLR. I have a shotgun mic on top of the camera. But other than that, man, this is just straight up like pretty much as bare bones as you can shoot the C300. Minus if you just like took the screen off, you know what I mean? Like just took the monitor off and, you know, took the XLR component system off of it. But really the only way you'd be able to film is just looking through the EVF, and that kind of sucks. Also, another disclaimer, I'm kind of selling all this stuff, so I'm really kind of just making sure I'm getting out. I'm shooting with it. I'm getting as much footage as I can with it just for later content. But yeah, man, I'm selling the C300. I'm selling all my C300s. I'm selling them all. I'm gonna have a follow-up video talking about the ecosystem that I'm switching into. But I do feel like this newer ecosystem that I'm going into is gonna facilitate future projects better. It's gonna allow me to get also better work. It's also gonna allow me to potentially be able to rent those systems out in order for them to pay themselves as well. And so just a lot of different reasons why I'm making the switch to the untold future ecosystem that I'm gonna be telling you guys about in a future video. But yeah, man, for anyone that's interested in getting a C300, the OG, I'm talking about the Mark I, this is a dope camera, man. Like, I'm really tempted to just keep all my C300s, or maybe just like sell all of them but one, because they're just that good of a camera system. It really is, man. It's really a good camera system. It just gets the job done. These are workhorses. You can beat them up. If they break, you can replace them for really cheap. The image quality coming out of these cameras are just spectacular. 8-bit 1080, tiny little files, bro, tiny little files. I'm not even shooting in C-Log, I'm shooting in DR, so I'm really shooting JPEGs. And these burned in images look great. They look great, man. I mean, there's like hands down, they beat pretty much a lot of the cameras that I've shot with, even the modern 2022, 2023 cameras. To me, these images look better. Aside from all of that, what other things are good about the C300? The screen on it displays waveforms and vector scopes. What other camera do you know shows vector scopes? That's crazy. That's something that I find only in my NLE. In addition to the vector scopes, you also have focus peaking. Obviously, most cameras have focus peaking now, but for a camera this old, it'd be hard to find another camera made around this era with focus peaking in it, only in like top-end cinema cameras like the one I'm holding. It has autofocus. Most of them have autofocus. Back in the day, you had to send them in, get autofocus installed into it by Canon. But I would probably say if you find a C300 online or on Adorama or on eBay, chances are it has about a 50% chance of having the dual pixel autofocus built into the camera, so that's good. Along with the dual pixel autofocus, it is good to mention that it's not face tracking. Actually, it is face tracking, but with most lenses, it's not. I think you have to use only EFS lenses, and you know, like those lenses suck, right? Like we all know, like most of the EFS lenses suck. I haven't tried it yet. All I have is full frame glass, so I'm stuck with just the center focus. So that is a drawback. Right now, you're listening to me on the onboard audio. It's just a shotgun microphone. It's not even that cool of a microphone. It's just like one that I got off like a Sony Handycam from like the 90s or something like that. It's not even a good shotgun microphone. You know, put on like a NGT4 or NGT3, and I think you'd be pretty much on par with like most short film or independent film audio quality. The picture profiles I talked about a little bit at the beginning of this video, but DR, or wide DR, wide dynamic range, is pretty much all you need to shoot with. I shoot weddings on wide DR. I don't shoot this camera on log at all. As you can see, this camera has superb image quality. You're watching me right now in 1080. The reason why this camera shoots so well is because it has a 4K sensor and it downsamples into 1080. So, I mean, I've on many projects shot on this camera and have just upscaled it back into 4K just fine. And it blends with all my other cameras that I was shooting on that particular project, shooting in 4K, and didn't even notice. As a matter of fact, the footage on these projects that I'm talking about that I did shoot mixed 4K and C300 1080p, in my opinion, the C300 1080p looks better upscaled into 4K, and it just overall looks better compared to all the other footage that I was shooting in 4K. Just to add a little bit more context, the other cameras that I was shooting in 4K on was a Canon R7 and some cell phone footage. So if you are looking into getting into like documentary style filmmaking work, or if you're looking into getting it into weddings, if you're looking into getting into storytelling filmmaking stuff, I think this is the camera for you if you are trying to decide on whether to get like a DSLR mirrorless hybrid photo filmmaking type of camera. Bro, I think that you should get a C300 and just get the most badass lens that you can possibly find for it. This, like I said earlier, is an 11-16. It's not an expensive lens, but I really don't spend a whole lot of money on my wide angle lenses anyway, just because I don't use wide angle shots that much to begin with. Like I said, I'm selling all of this stuff here, so that's the reason why this video exists here on YouTube. But other than that, I really can't think of any reasons, negative reasons anyway, why someone shouldn't get a Canon C300 versus, like, I don't know, an R7, an R6. I'm strictly talking about for video, for filmmaking, for event videography, for music videos. I think you'll get more out of the C300, and I think you will become a better filmmaker in the long run with a C300 versus getting a brand new R6, R5, whatever.